Guys, I know what you're thinking. What an amazing front end, but what was Benelli thinking when they installed these? If you guys want to change these out, stick around, stay tuned, and enjoy. Roll the intro. Born to Moto. All right, guys, these are the Lightechs. Pretty nice. I've never owned a pair of Lightechs. I usually use the TST turn signals on pretty much all my bikes, but I got these on an open box deal. Super cheap, and I just couldn't pass it up, but I did notice they are Italian. Italian bike, Italian lights. We're keeping it spicy, which is pretty dope. One thing I don't like is that this is super long, and these lights, even though they are LED, it's kind of like a cheap plastic housing. They're kind of flimsy. I really don't like it, so I ended up picking these up. Now, the only thing that concerned me was that the anodized red is not really as red as the frame or the stickers, but it's not really a big deal because they do match these little bolts that I put back here. Now, these are the TST license plate bolts that I used on my previous videos. They match this really well, and these are Puke frame sliders. I got this on a really good deal as well, open box, could not pass it up. It matches definitely with these pieces, and that to me is pretty important. So as long as those match with this, I should be okay, and we're gonna be installing that today. Like I said, I'm no pro, but we're gonna be doing it together, and I will take you step by step on how to install something similar or the same ones if you choose to.
If any of this content interests you, do me a huge favor. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you want, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to be notified of all new uploads.
All right, guys, in order to gain access to the wiring and the nut that's back here holding this light, we're gonna have to remove this screw that's here, just under the light, and there's another one right here on top of this corner fairing. Remove both of these on both sides, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, guys, once you remove those 4 screws, up here on top of the triple tree, there's this screw here and this one here. This is a 4mm Allen key. Just go ahead and remove these as well. All right, guys, once you remove those 2 screws, this whole piece just kind of flops down. Now you have access to the headlight, all the wiring that's in here, so try not to make a mess because you have to put all this back in its place. But there is a screw right here that needs to be removed, and the top left. Those have to be removed in order to take this plastic piece off. All right, guys, once you remove those screws, all you have to do is just kind of pull this up a little bit. There is a clip right here and a clip right here where this will snap off, and then this whole piece could drop. Now, you see we have access to the screw that's here, and we also have access to the factory OEM wiring that's there, and this is how we're gonna make our connection moving forward. Let me go ahead and show you on this other side. Let me try to scratch the bike, how to do this, because it did take me a second to figure it out because I didn't want to break it. So all you do is pull up on the bottom, it'll kind of pop, and then boom, it pops. It kind of, the other side didn't come off as easy, but this one came off, obviously, as you can see, pretty dang easy. But there's a clip here built into the plastic, and there's one here, and those snap here and here. So just be careful that you don't break those, because then obviously your plastics will be detached. But now we have access to the bolt, the wiring, and we can continue. All right, guys, I know some of you guys are not gonna like this, but I'm gonna cut this wire probably about right there. I know some of you guys get scared when I do that stuff, but I'm gonna cut it there because I need to get this bolt out, and I'm using this adjustable screwdriver, and I'm just gonna wedge it in here, loosen this bolt out, and then go ahead and reverse this out completely to remove the OEM light. Oh. All right, light number 1 is removed. Again, I'm gonna cut it probably right here in the middle. That's where I think it's the middle. And then get this adjustable, stick it in there, loosen up the bolt. Here's the washers. And then you do have to kind of twist it a little bit, and it comes off. I'm hoping that these lights, that the screw is just as big. If not, I'll have to use some of these washers. But here is the light. These things look pretty dang good, I ain't gonna lie. Here is, oh dang. Well, guys, we may be lucky. That may just plug right in. All right, guys, here's the Lightech. It does have a screw, it does come with a bolt. This washer, I took off the other light, and I'm gonna show you why. It does have the same style connectors, which I was not aware of. I should have looked a little better, but I could probably utilize these with that. Go ahead and slide the wiring through here like this. Really simple. I actually left that washer there. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but we'll look at that here in a second. And I'm gonna go ahead and feed these wires through one at a time. Makes it less complicated. And we're gonna go ahead and try to tighten this up a little bit just to see what it looks like. Kind of looks like this, so I could just tighten it up and then adjust it as I need it once I get it on the bike. All right guys, this is a 13mm bolt that's here, so grab a 13mm if you could find one. Obviously turn it in the direction that you need it to go in. So don't forget to just angle it the way you need it. It's gonna look kind of something like this, and then once you got it there, go ahead and tighten it down like that. And it looks pretty good so far. I mean, that's the front of the headlight kind of facing towards you, so nice sleek look. I mean, way better than this thing. I mean, look at this. It's like totally night and day. Now let's figure out this connection part. So green, green, brown, brown. So since brown is the darkest, I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and put, dang guys, these things fit perfect. So boom, I'm gonna use black to brown and green to red. And guys, those things fit perfect. So that is a nice plug and play feature right there, because I didn't have to cut. I didn't even have to cut the original ones now that I think about it. But so I'll save that wire. I need to reuse it for later. This is what we have. So let's go ahead and turn on the bike. All right guys, boom, there it is, it's working. Easier if you just pull one at a time, black and then the red. Now I did see that there was a lock washer with the stock OEM light, which I did not see that when I was doing the other one. So here's how we're gonna set this one up, and I'm gonna go ahead and redo that other side after I do this. But go ahead, and I'm gonna use this nice shiny washer first for the light. So I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna slide this one through. That way, you see how it's got that plastic there? That way when I slide this wire through here, as I drop it down, you'll see that the nice chrome washer is gonna kind of just, you know, just keep it from looking kind of ugly. That hole is a little bigger than the light itself, at least with these Lightechs. Maybe other lights will have a bigger base. So I don't want the plastic hole, you know, being revealed from the inside. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put on this lock washer, which I did not realize that the other side had it. Put the lock washer in first. Boom. And then you can just hold it like this. We're gonna put this bolt on real quick. Slide that down. And go ahead. What I do is I just twist the light, since it's easier to just twist the light to get it on. And bam, once I start spinning that, it shall lock up. Kind of center it as best as possible. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. If you loosen up this bolt here, you can kind of center the light and everything within the plastic right there, and then go ahead and tighten it up so the bolt's kind of like in the middle. It's not truly a big deal, but see, I don't want this washer on the outside kind of crooked. I want it as centered as possible with the hole that's there, so it just looks a little more uniformed when we're doing the install. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn my light the direction it's supposed to show, which is like this way. So go ahead and tighten it up with 13mm wrench. Yeah, and that feels a lot different with the lock washer. I could actually feel it like cinching in and actually getting a nice good grip. So I'm definitely gonna redo the other side here in a second. Bam. The lock washer basically is gonna keep it from spinning backwards or spinning out of place. And like I said, you could always grab it, this light, and kind of twist it in the direction that you need it to face better once you put it on. If you want the blinker a little more further down, you could just grab it and spin it downwards a little bit. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the connectors just like the other side that came with the Lightech blinkers in order to plug it in here. And we're gonna do the same process. Make sure you hold it by the connector, not by the wire. And then go ahead and grab black to brown, just like that. You can even hear it snap when you put them in, which is nice. And then we're gonna do red to green, just like that, boom. All right, those are in place, they're protected, nothing's exposed. So, you know, you see that these come with little shrinks over the plastic, you know, the copper brass ends, so nothing gets shorted out when they're touching, which is really great. Let's go ahead and turn on the key. And there you go. So now this one's properly set up as well, boom. So now all we gotta do is basically reverse all of this. So before I put all this up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back on, so at least it's on the fairing. I'll probably end up using some tie wraps, tie wrapping some of these wires a little nicer so they're not so like, you know, sitting here bopping around everywhere, and make it really clean. So when I push this light back in, it fits nice and secure and we're good to go. Once you get it lined up, you push this top corner in, it'll snap it in here. This one you just pull together, boom. And as you can see, this plastic is back in place. Now we can put these screws on. Go ahead and screw in the inside next. I think it's gonna be a little easier. And then go ahead and do this top one. So you got this one back, you got the bottom one back, and you got the inside. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the inside is back on. So those three are complete. Let's go to the other side. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but there's one right there. Boom, nice and tight, and boom, that's it. I'll probably just put a tie wrap here. That's there. All right, guys, I went ahead and buttoned everything up, and then I pushed it all back. And as you can see, these two wires are in the same exact spot that they were, and the holes are now visible, so we can actually put those screws back down. Boom. Here's the next one. Boom. All right, guys, there is the final result of the Lightechs installed. They look super nice, way better now than from the box when I was looking at it. I really like that it goes with the bike and the scheme, and I love the fact that they're here and not way out here. And they're not flimsy. As you can see, they're nice and tight. I did put the lock washer in, that definitely helps, so make sure you utilize those lock washers. Do not get rid of those because you will need them for whatever light you choose. Now, let's go ahead and test what it looks like. And boom, there's the front headlight, that's working. Because remember, guys, we had everything disconnected, so I want to make sure that everything is working on the bike. Since I folded all that wiring down, want to make sure everything's reconnected. So the hazards are working, headlights working. Let's go ahead and do the right turn signal. That's working. Little hyper flash, I don't know if that's normal. There's the left, working very well. And while I have it here, I'm going to go ahead and test the high beam out. I'm going to test the pass light. I'm going to test the horn. And yep, seems like everything is back and plugged in place. And there you have it, guys. Super simple. Probably takes about 45 minutes to install it yourself. Definitely, again, use those lock washers. Be very gentle with some of these screws and fasteners. And guys, whichever way you take it apart is how it goes back on. Just kind of remember the process. Obviously, you have the video, and you can use these with any lights, not only the Lightechs, but TST has amazing lights on their website you can use. Revzilla, Cycle Gear has a bunch of lights as well. So whatever light you choose, it's pretty much going to be the same setup. You just have to figure it out and adjust. Each light may be a little different, but like we did today, improvising, you can do it yourself. Super simple. And guys, I hope this video helps some of you trying to figure it out. So until the next one, be blessed, ride safe, take it easy on them filthy streets, and remember, you got to work on Monday. Peace.